Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, October 15th, 2021. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice right here, ES, a big day in the previous session here. Tremendous strength throughout the day. Never a moment in doubt here as it was able to hold on to those gains the rest of the day and close beyond the 44.21s here, which is the midpoint of the previous month's range and is also the midpoint of the key range, that impulse move that developed. So far we've seen a failure to push below the key range low and a quick return to the mid, right to the tick, a pullback and a higher low here, and now we're through it and we're now breaking this trend to the upside here. So this is a tremendous move that we're seeing to the upside at the moment. But after a big move like this, a high range day, there tends to be a more narrow range day that follows. We're not likely to see two huge days in a row like this unless it was some significant move underway. So right now, expecting more of a range bound, fade the edges with an upward bias type of day. And one thing to keep an eye on is going to be this upper zone up here, 44.75s. What happens when we get up here? Can price push through that area, which it hasn't been able to do for a while, or do we turn back down off that zone and stay inside the trading range here? So that's going to be a level to watch here up ahead, 44.75s, but right now doing quite well here after breaking through the prior pivot high. Any higher low could be an opportunity to stretch this thing up toward the previous quarter's high. All right, taking a look now at the NQ. Let's pull this up here. Now the NQ here looks very similar to the ES. Very solid push higher in the previous session. A push beyond the 15K level, which is very important level here in the near term. Additionally, because it was kind of a high range move yesterday, we're seeing more of a low range price action today. So expect trading range type of price action with an upward bias. Again, once price gets a little higher, it's going to be interesting to see what happens at that zone. We have 15.2 right here, which has been a major key level for the last 2 months. 3 months really. That was the breakout point here. It was the midpoint from that previous month, and now it's the midpoint from last month. So it remains a major area. You can see the CLVN here. So while we have broken a prior pivot low with a higher low, that's very strong. A pullback could provide more strength ahead, but this level right here opens up 15.7, and a rejection of that point could open up a return back to the previous quarter's low. So this is going to be an important level coming up, 15.2, which could be in place sometime early next week. All right, let's take a look now at crude oil. You'll see here with crude oil, this one has been super bullish. Very bullish. I think we've had this one nailed very nicely here, especially due to the key range. So let's revisit that for a moment. This right here is the impulse high. This right here is the impulse low. And when price dropped sharply through those lows on this day right here, we were able to close back above that pivot low, and it was a huge 4-point range day. During that day, we mentioned that was enough, and as long as price can continue to keep this low sealed, you have this as a midpoint target, which we reached, and then you have the opposite end as the next upside target, which we reached, 75.52s. Now in breaking through 76s here, you have your 50% extension. We've hit that at 80.78. The next one up above is going to be the 86 level. So based off of that major key range down here and the rejection that we've seen and the breakout we've seen, look at how perfect that retest was. We are on our way to 86s. And so any pullback continues to be a buying opportunity until proven otherwise. Right now we're still inside a very clear range throughout that has developed throughout the week. Any pullback Sunday, Monday, early next week could provide a strong pivot low for a continuation into 84 and into that 86.03 100% target. So crude oil still pushing higher toward 86s. As long as price continues to hold 75.52 or the 76 roundy right there. So any pullback into the PEMA trigger zone provides a buying opportunity up ahead. All right, let's take a look lastly at gold futures. Right now, gold seeing quite a sell-off. A major decline after we saw a huge push up in the previous session. We saw gold hold and now giving it up here today. Significant selling pressure here with gold breaking back below 1780. 1780 was that key level. We mentioned that if price can push through 1780, it opens up the previous month's high price. And instead, right now you're seeing price drop back below that level. Bulls really need to reclaim that zone in order to continue this thing higher toward 1830 to 1840. Failure to get back above 1780 again puts pressure on that 1740 down below. So right now we're still kind of in that downward trending phase. This is what we've talked about with gold for a very long time. This one has been weak ever since the August 2020 high. Every time we've seen a bounce, no matter how strong that bounce, it's been met with selling pressure and lower highs. And so again, with the strong move we saw just a couple of days ago, it was followed by a range-bound session here and now taking out the lows. It's a tremendous sell-off, and it's very reminiscent of any of these other times that we've rallied here recently but been met right away with selling pressure. Again, further demonstrating how bearish gold has been overall. And again, look at this right here, rejecting value and the 200-day from below. So perhaps any pullback here into 1780 may remain a selling opportunity to the next support level down, 1720. So right now, very, very bearish here and back to or toward that 1760 key level. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Happy Friday, everyone. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the trading room. Take care and have a fantastic weekend.